This is the all-new iPhone Air.
Yeah, let me see that body rock. Yeah, let me see that body move. Yeah, let me see that body rock.
At least that's what we thought it was going to look like when we were guessing the design. But what if we were not guessing anymore? Rumors of a very, very thin, slim new iPhone started over 6 months ago, with many analysts and publications making things a little fuzzy. You see, back then, The Information, that's the name of the publication that leaked the stuff. I'm not just saying the word okay, anyway. The Information and Kuoming Chi told us that Apple was hard at work on an ultra-slim iPhone model for 2025. If you are not playing along at home, that is this year. Kuo also told us that Apple would be killing off the Plus model. Weird. Very convenient timing. Naturally, as nerds and Apple fans just like you, we were all about this. It sounded great. We made a whole video about it. The difference, though, is that we actually disagreed a bit with things that were being said. Dubbed, literally, the iPhone 17 Slim, rumors suggested an ultra-thin and ultra-premium iPhone, with a starting price at around $1,300, which would make it more expensive than the Pro models. It would make it the most expensive iPhone ever. But you see, those initial leaks came with this funny spec sheet. Things like a single camera on the back and an A19 chip inside. Yeah, like a regular one, a regular chip, not a Pro chip for what is supposedly a $1,300 phone. And all of that in the same time frame as nuking the Plus model? Yeah, No, we speculated that because of the sources reporting on this story, it must be real, but doubted that all of it was real. I decided, or more so speculated, that one piece of this puzzle must not be accurate. And that one piece is probably the price. If you take away that super high, ridiculous price tag, what you're left with is something that looks a lot less like a crazy ultra premium iPhone and something that looks more so like a replacement for a Plus model that's being taken away. Letting Apple experiment and try something new after their attempts on a mini iPhone that didn't do well, and now with the Plus. And how would Apple, the kings of lackluster technology backed by impeccable marketing, decide to market such a product? Well, they'd probably lean on a naming they've already been using that has massive equity amongst their product line and slap that on it. The branding of Air. I was so sure of the leaked price tag being wrong that I said some things. If this phone launches and it has these mid-range, mid-level specs that have leaked, if that phone comes out and it is $1,300, scratch that. If this phone comes out and it is even a penny more than that year's Pro Max model, I will shave off every hair on my head. I will shave my head, and don't you think I won't. Since then, most publications now refer to this phone as the Air. And Mark Gurman, arguably the most consistent Apple leaker guy, who is typically very careful with his wording, is using the Air moniker. And I'm sorry, but I don't think Mark Gurman is calling it the Air because I did. Funny, wouldn't you say? Back then, we were certainly only speculating, but now I may or may not know some stuff, so let's show you the iPhone Air after the sponsor break. Apple always touts how important privacy is. Is it important to you? How important is your data to you? Do you want to keep it safe? That's why this episode is sponsored by our friends at Incogni. Incogni is constantly on the lookout for data breaches involving your data, or pesky data brokers who nabbed it and tried to sell it to the highest bidder. Incogni finds them and takes care of the rest, if you know what I mean. 3 easy steps is all it takes for Incogni to back you up. Create an account, give Incogni approval to take care of business, and relax. Incogni even offers protection for your family and friends with support for up to 4 members on your subscription. So take back control of your personal data today. Use code FRONTPAGE at the link in the description below, or head to incogni.com/frontpage to get 60% off an annual plan. Okay, so right off the bat, as mentioned, new iPhone model means death of an existing one. iPhone Plus, you are the weakest link. After all of the rumors and speculation, concepts, and renders, here is what the iPhone Air actually looks like. I will say, at this stage in the year, designs are pretty much final for the entire iPhone lineup, so what I saw with my own eyes is what you see here in our recreated render. From what I understand, this is less of an upgraded premium iPhone and more so debuts as a side grade, a supplemental but complementary option sitting next to the regular base model. This basically is a Plus model, just with less of it, so a minus. If you saw our last episode, we showed off what we believe to be the iPhone 17 Pro design. You can watch that video next if you haven't seen it, but notice the camera bar on the top? Yeah, Apple is fully committing to this design language, it seems. Of course, not a language they invented. Google has been speaking it for a few years now, but who's keeping track? Current rumors are suggesting a single 48 megapixel camera on the back, and that's what we're seeing too. Well, we're seeing a single camera. I'm unsure about how many mega whatevers are in it. The camera bar on this puppy looks a lot more like a Pixel camera bar, thanks to the only needing a single lens there thing, with the flash and mic being moved over to the right. And I'm just gonna give it to you straight, man. That's a pretty iPhone. All right, it is what it is. In fact, I would like to start a movement to revert back to single lenses on phones. It's time. I get it. We needed to add more lenses in like 2015, 16, whatever, because sensors were smaller and we needed to compromise with additional dedicated lenses to pick up the slack. Well, it's 2025 now, okay? The sensors on the back of our phones are much more substantial at this stage and backed up by computational photography from every angle and now straight up AI. Okay, it's a cell phone. It's time. It's one lens. Let's go back to one lens, please, and thank you. We conveniently left this Air design out of our last video because, well, if you knew what we knew, you would have made 2 videos too. So, there it is. Anyway, but now you can see another reason why a design like this on the Pro makes less sense. Apple is going to want their designs, even if they're kind of funny, to look intentional and consistent. The camera bar is up there nice and flush on the Air device, so it's got to be up there nice and flush at the top of the Pro, too. The front of this bad boy still has the normal, typical dynamic island, but it is hella thin. And you know I mean it, because I have never said hella in my life. I don't personally know the exact measurements. Rumors suggest something like 5 to 6 millimeters thin. Listen, I'm sure that the Pro model iPhones this year will be exciting and lovely, but there's something about this iPhone Air situation that is tickling my peenie, all right? I'm curious. I'm just gonna say it. I am curious about this phone. I'm curious enough to buy it when it releases. I'm curious enough to make it my daily driver, or whatever you nerds like to call it. I will just call it my iPhone.